Africa has over 1 billion people, vast natural resources, and some of the fastest growing economies in the world, so it seems like it should have at least one global superpower by now. But modern power isn't just about size or resources. It's about how effectively a country can convert those into stable, long-term influence. One of the biggest reasons Africa lacks a superpower today is fragmentation. The continent is divided into more than 50 countries, many of which are relatively small in economic or military terms. So power is spread out instead of concentrated. Unlike the United States or China, where influence is centralized, Africa's strongest countries, like Nigeria, Egypt, and South Africa, each dominate their own regions, but don't have the scale or coordination to project power globally. Another major factor is how many African economies are structured. A large number still depend heavily on exporting raw materials like oil, minerals, and agricultural goods. While this generates revenue, it doesn't create the same level of influence as controlling advanced industries like manufacturing, technology, or global finance. Countries that rely on raw exports are also more vulnerable to price swings and external demand, which makes long-term planning harder. This ties directly into infrastructure. Efficient transport, energy systems, and logistics networks are essential for scaling an economy. But in many parts of Africa, infrastructure is still developing. That slows down trade, increases costs, and limits how quickly countries can grow into larger, more coordinated systems. Political consistency also plays a role. Superpowers require long-term stability, where policies, institutions, and economic strategies can operate over decades without constant disruption. While many African countries are stable and improving, others face governance challenges, corruption, or sudden policy shifts that make sustained growth harder. Even small disruptions repeated over time can prevent a country from reaching the level of consistency needed for global dominance. On top of that, there's the issue of talent flow. Africa produces millions of young, educated people, but a significant number leave for opportunities in Europe, North America, or other regions. This brain drain reduces the internal capacity for innovation, entrepreneurship, and leadership, which are all critical for building global influence. External influence also matters. Africa is deeply connected to the global economy, and major powers like China, the United States, and European countries invest heavily across the continent. While this brings development, infrastructure, and capital, it also means that influence is shared. When multiple global powers are competing for economic and political presence, it becomes harder for any single African country to fully dominate or act independently on the world stage. At the same time, regional cooperation is still evolving. Organizations like the African Union and trade agreements like the African Continental Free Trade Area are steps toward greater integration, but they are still developing and haven't yet created the level of unified economic or political power seen in other regions. That said, Africa is not stagnant. Countries like Nigeria, Egypt, Ethiopia, and South Africa are growing, urbanizing, and increasing their regional influence. Technology adoption is accelerating, especially in areas like mobile banking and digital services, and new industries are emerging across the continent. The potential for a future superpower is there, but it hasn't fully formed yet.